Hey everyone, welcome to episode 285, 75 Hard. Welcome to the Harmony in the Home podcast. I'm your host, Kelly Hutchison. I'm a counselor, a life coach, and most importantly, an imperfect mom doing this work right along with you. And my goal on our podcast is to go from chaos to calm, feel less frazzled, and have more fun within your four walls to have more harmony in your home. Hey everyone, welcome to episode 285, and I can't wait to talk to you about the 75 Hard Challenge, which I just completed. I'm feeling amazing, and I have to share it with you because I'm so excited. Before I get into that, I want to talk to you about pocket coaching, which is a great way to meet with me one-on-one on the go. It's a great way to get one-on-one help from me about things that you're struggling with so you can go from frazzled to friendly with your kids. Go to www.coachingkelly.com if you want to stop yelling, if you want to have more fun in your marriage, if you want to have a more organized house, whatever it is, I can help you. I love helping people create more joy and happiness in their life through habits and through consciousness. So go to www.coachingkelly.com, go to the Work With Me tab and sign up there. So I just finished 75 Hard. I wanted something big to go down for my 50th birthday, and I couldn't think of anything. I was like, do I want to sign up for a 5K? My birthday's on a Thursday. That's so silly. I can't do that. Do I want to sign up for a half marathon? Well, that's great, but nothing. Half marathons are usually on the weekend. Do I want to go on a trip? What do I want to do for my 50th? Like, it's a big freaking deal. So I thought about it. I'm like, I've always wanted to do the 75 Hard Challenge, which I've heard so much about. What if I back up the train and back up 75 days, my birthday being on October 17th, 1974, what I am now in the 50s clubs, got my AARP letter in the mail. I was like, what is this? So what if I back up my 50th birthday by 75 days, which was August, the beginning of August, and do the 75 Hard Challenge, and have the 75th day be on my 50th birthday? How cool would that be? And what a cool memory that I'll make for myself, and also showing my kids how to do hard things, because we know that we can do hard things. And that's what I would tell them. We can do hard things. So what is the 75 Hard Challenge? I'm going to let you listen to this to kind of give you a little overview, because they explain it a lot better than I can.
A couple of months ago, I saw a couple of my mates share on Instagram these little screenshots of them completing this thing called 75 Hard. And 75 Hard, for those who don't know, is a mental toughness challenge. It looks a lot like a fitness challenge, but it's not. And the rules are really simple. It goes for 75 days. There's 5 things you got to do every day. If you miss one thing on one day, you start back at day 1. So I watched it, and the 5 things are 2 workouts a day for 45 minutes each. One of them has to be outside, which is great unless it's raining or snowing, right? You've got to choose a diet to hit your health goals and follow it to the letter. No cheat meals. You must read 10 pages of a non-fiction book every single day. So last night, we finished up here at 11 p.m. Sydney time. I jumped into bed and then realized I hadn't read my 10 pages. And guess what I did? I read my 10 freaking pages, didn't I? You got to take a progress photo every day. No booze for 75 days. That's the challenge. I don't drink anyway, so that didn't really hurt me. Anyway, so I thought about it. And I'm like, that looks interesting. The whole idea that it was positioned as a mental toughness challenge, not a fitness challenge, really intrigued me. One of the things that frankly really stood out to me was the idea of who you can become if you show up at full strength all the time with no around or excuses. And then just out of curiosity, I grabbed my phone and I asked Siri, what's the date in 75 days? And Siri said, day before Christmas. I'm like, oh, well, I'm starting right now then, because I want to eat well on Christmas Day. So I'm on day 33 right now, I think it is. Like, health-wise, it's transformational. But frankly, the biggest thing is, I don't know if you have this, you've got really great intentions, but there's these 2 little voices like the angel and the devil on your shoulder. Andy Frisella, the guy who created 75 Hard, calls it the voice, the boss voice. And I don't know about you, but the voice and I have been hanging around for about 44 years right now. They say no pain, no gain, but I've always been like, no pain? That sounds awesome. In this case, it's really made a significant difference. About a week in, I was like, this is incredible, and I can totally see how this transfers to business. So it came down to 2 things. It's that a lot of us have aspirations about how we want things to be different or better. We all set New Year's resolutions about how we want life to be. I'm going to get healthier. I'm going to start at the gym. We have these aspirations about how we want life to be different. Exercise more, travel more, surf, swim more. So we've got these aspirations. And I think an aspiration is like, I want to. And aspirations rarely happen. They just don't. show up in your life. You don't kind of hope things happen and life magically changes. At the other end is a boundary. And when I say a boundary, I guess another word for it is like a non-negotiable. And what 75 Hard did was it took a bunch of things like exercise more and eat better, and it took them from an aspiration and turned them into a non-negotiable boundary that I will not cross. And so, for example, a couple of weeks ago was Araha's birthday. She turned 12, our daughter. And we had an amazing day, friends over and, sleepovers and, all of that stuff. This was all great. But the whole way in the back of my mind, I'm like, okay, well, I'm spending a whole day here with the kids and I'm loving it. I'm fully present. But every now and again, my brain said, but I've committed to doing 2 workouts a day and I've only done 1. How on earth am I going to fill this in? And then I had to drop the kids back. And at 10:45 at night, it was pouring with rain. And my voice said, it's been a big day. No one will know. And my boss voice said, yeah, but you promised. And so at 10:45 p.m., I went for my outdoor workout for 45 minutes in the rain. Why? Because it went from an aspiration to a boundary.
So 75 Hard, everyone thinks is a fitness challenge, but it's really a mental toughness challenge. It's about not having excuses and making excuses and giving into the excuses, because it's what to do when things become inconvenient, because they want it. They set it up so you have to keep those promises to yourself every single day for 75 days. And what I was asked more often than not, what are you going to do on the 75th day? What's your big treat? What's your big celebration? What are you going to eat first? And I'm telling you, after like the first week, I would say week to 10 days, I would say going out to eat at restaurants was probably the hardest, like not having the chips and salsa, the queso, all the salty, sugary food, because I gave up sugar and salt and processed food and ate as healthy as I could. Or no, as healthy as I just didn't indulge on anything. And after about 7 to 10 days, maybe 2 weeks, I just stopped thinking about it. It stopped going on my radar. And so when people would ask me that, it didn't even dawn on me, because I was so perplexed by the question. I'm like, I don't really know. I don't really have anything that I'm just like dying for, because I was such a sugar addict. But once you stop giving in to the addiction of eating sugar, all of a sudden your urges for sugar completely disappear. And it feels like magic. I had to buy all new clothes, which was a byproduct. That's not why I was doing it. But I also didn't have any room for error, because I had timed it out that my 75th day was going to be on my 50th birthday. So you only are going to have your 50th birthday one time. So I was very disciplined and very committed. And I loved showing that to the kids. Even though they weren't asking about it, even though they weren't asking about it every day or I wasn't telling about them every day. It was something that you could just do slowly and surely and silently. But through osmosis, they're picking up on so much of what I'm putting down, because they're always watching. They see me at restaurants. So if you couldn't hear the exact script of the 75 Hard, if you just Google 75 Hard Challenge, you will be inundated with information. So it's following a diet, 0 cheat meals for the entire 75 days, which was actually easier for me other than when we went out to restaurants, because you can eat so much when you just choose to eat healthy. But when I took all the sugar and junk out, I was like, oh, this is actually easy, because I was eating a lot of the same thing every day. Work out 2 times a day for at least 45 minutes, and 1 has to be outside. That was actually easy for me, because I prefer to run outside versus the treadmill. So I was doing that. And then I was doing beach body workouts and I was doing Body Beast or MBF, or I was trying to do any strength training, because that's a weakness of mine. I'm like a cardio junkie. So just for me, working out in general was a challenge until my brother-in-law passed away. And then the whole thing happened with just walk out the door, and I changed my cue. Oh my goodness. Life changing. Another one is, I don't think he said this in the video, is drink a gallon of water per day. And that was pretty easy. I probably drink like a half a gallon a day, so I just had to double that. I'm addicted to water now. Read 10 pages of a nonfiction book. So the reading was harder than I thought it'd be, because my ADD would kick in, and it could not be an audiobook, because I read so many books on audio, which I don't know if that's even considered reading, but I do so many audiobooks that it was really hard for me to sit and read 10 pages of a nonfiction book, when I was like, oh, I could go be doing this. I could be doing that. I wish I could speed this up. But he also wanted a physical book, not a Kindle or anything like that, because he wanted you to get the dopamine hit of seeing the pages going from the beginning and then moving that bookmark throughout and getting that physical feedback loop of seeing the book being finished. and then take progress pics every single day. And a lot of times I would just take a selfie and just take a face pics because I really wanted to lose the inflammation in my face because I put on so much grief weight after all the losses we had in 2023 and 2024. So I just turned into this like person I didn't even recognize. My clothes weren't fitting. I just felt horrible. And then I had this inner dialogue that just would not stop. So 75 hard was perfect for me because it kept me focused and gave me some place to put my grief. And I said in the post that I did on my birthday that instead of feeling the grief and just feeling like I was in that swamp of grief and the muck, I turned that mucky swamp-like feeling and I turned it into energy for something good in honor of them versus missing them so much that I cannot move, but instead using their inspiration and doing it in their honor so I could channel that a little bit more. And that was so life-changing for me. So if you're interested in doing 75 hard, it's completely free, obviously, because there's nothing to buy. Just Google 75 hard and you will find so many videos, so many progress pictures, so many people that fail. And it's okay to fail because you just have to start off with day number one. I just didn't have that luxury because my day number one, I wouldn't have been able to reach my goal to reach day 75 on my 50th birthday. I guess I could have done it by the end of the year, or I could have done Christmas, or I could have done, I'm doing a half marathon in February. I could have done it. My 75th day is on my day of my half marathon, but I really wanted it to be something that I remember for. What did you do when you turned 50? Oh, I finished 75 hard. And a lot of other stuff, amazing stuff happened on my 50th birthday. Don't get me wrong. But I wanted something between me and me. And so if you want that for you, you can have it between you and you. And if you're going and you're feeling funky and you're feeling not so hot, this is a great way to take that funky energy and turn it into free and fulfilling and so empowering. And the best part of 75 hard, I would probably say, for me, the greatest feeling was stopping the inner chatter of, you should be doing this, you should be doing this. Why aren't you? 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 Because I know that my body wants to be healthy. And so when I was acting so unhealthy on so many different levels, it just exacerbated and made the grief so much worse. But I felt like I was caught in a swamp and I couldn't move. I was caught in quicksand. And so the 75 hard helped me. I still felt like I was in quicksand, but I did it even though I was in the quicksand. And I did it against my own will, which created a stronger will. And then the best part and the most freeing part is not having the inner chatter anymore. And creating these habits that, like, when it was over, I was like, I'm kind of sad that's over. Like, I'm doing 75 soft now. I'm doing like a quasi version of it because I can't say it was fun. It was just so good for me to have something to focus on and channel my grief into something for the good and for the love that I have for the people that I've lost, because they're always living within me. And so what better way to honor my love for them by doing something in their honor? So I can't recommend it enough. I did a whole podcast episode about it because of that reason. The lessons that you will learn about yourself are transformative, and then you can teach those to your kids. And that's the most important thing, because when you do that, you all will have more harmony in the home. I love you guys, and I'll talk to you next week. Bye-bye. Hey mamas, thanks for listening. If you had any ahas, clicks, or those lightning bolt moments while listening, you have to check out my free parenting bootcamp, where we take all of this to the next level and we try to create even more awakenings for ourselves so that we can connect more with our kids and never yell at them again. You can sign up at www.coachingkelly.com. And if you really want to fill up my love cup, send me an email of what your aha was, what your click was, what was that lightning bolt moment while you were listening. I want nothing more in life than for you to have harmony in your home and to learn how to be an imperfect mom like me, which allows your kids to be imperfect too, each and every day. Thanks for listening.